Welcome to Floating Leaf Tea Podcast. I'm Showen.
And I'm Noah. And today we're going to be drinking something.
Wow.
I don't know what it is, though.
You don't know what we are going to go drink?
What are we going to go drink?
Outside? No, I don't know either yet.
What are we drinking today, Shu?
Shu is going to brew some... What the heck? Shu is going to brew one of her favorite oolongs. A very cute one, because when Shu drinks this tea, she always see little crabbies running around.
Oh, then it must be Furry Crab.
That's right.
Nice.
Okay. Wow, that was very intense. This stupid.
Intensely stupid.
Jinx. But anyway, I have actually a reason, well, maybe two reasons why I want to drink this tea today. A very basic reason is just to see where the tea is at. Always have to go back to visit teas to see where they are at different moments. And the second very important reason, not sure I'm going to fulfill that at all today, is so this specific Furry Crab is listed on the .com site. So most of the tea is actually stored in Taiwan.
Yes, yeah.
But I did call in for, have a bag of the tea because I need to know how it tastes like. And meanwhile, I also saw some. 1 ounce, 2 ounce here and there. We never listed on the .us site here in Seattle. And I drank it here and there, and I had many good sessions with this specific Furry Crab. But I remember after you came back, and one morning we were drinking this tea, and that session was spectacular.
I remember that too. That was really good.
It was really good. And I'm hoping that some of the wonderful moments will show up again today. You can call it's a form of addiction. Tea brewing and tea drinking is very interesting. It try to live the moment, each moment, and yet it's very hard to get rid of expectations, because we do need to own certain amount of expectations, right? You said the right word, expectations?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's put some dry leaves into a warm Asian pot.
Quite beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier on, when the tea arrived and I brewed this tea, and, I did put in my, my... Not judgment, but I have
expectations.
No, I have checkpoints when I evaluate tea.
Oh, sure.
Flavor, clean, center,
concentration. Me too.
And then, in a way, not flexibility, movement of a tea, and where can it go in the scent, in the mouth, in the throat, at the chest, in the stomach, and then is there something else? And all those stuff. What happened to this Furry Crab was, it tastes sweet, it tastes good, and it has all the checkpoints that I need. And yet there's something about it is not connected.
Like it's not meeting your final checkpoint, maybe?
Because if, like people, we did a lot of sessions on the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Like, ask people how to look at the texture, how it moves in the mouth. We move into the throat, then we come back to the nose, and then we go back into the body again. But, those no matter what, they are separated.
Yeah, it's like analyzing, right?
That's right.
You're taking it apart and you're finding the pieces that make it either what you're looking for or not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right?
And then, but fundamentally, then in the end, how is the tea connected is super important.
Just like when we were testing pots out last week, maybe, right? So there was that one pot that it just felt like not only is everything there, there was actually 3 pots where it kind of like hit all the basic checkpoints. And if you're looking at it analytically, it's like, yeah, this is, functioning.
Yeah.
It's brewing the tea.
Yeah.
But there was one pot where it just made the tea taste right.
Yeah.
The feeling showed up.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
And we're back. You were saying that... Oh, I was saying. Someone was saying something. We had some folks looking for chamomile tea.
Separated checkpoints.
Yes, okay, yeah. So with those teapots, right, there was those 3 pots that actually had all the, checkpoints. There was one pot where everything not only showed up, but there was like a feeling tying it all together. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
A little bit, maybe?
Yeah, totally. And this second infusion, just even the scent. And then in a way, when I look back to the fundamentals episodes that we did, and I still feel like we were doing a great thing, even until today. I think they were great sessions, and just like right now, I haven't drank the second infusion yet. I just smell it. So am I separating the smelling experience into the whole experience? Not necessary, But the reason why I think we did those fundamentals is to build up some foundations. There are some things for people to, in a way, to study.
So the reason I found that so useful in the beginning when I started learning tea with you was because it's really easy, from my point of view, it was really easy to just be like, everything kind of tastes good, right? Or something along those lines. And when you started talking to me about texture, and then further on, the checkpoints that you're talking about, it was a way for me to look a little bit more objectively and kind of go inside and start to actually watch. So yeah, I do think that they were as a learning tool, they were really useful to me.
Yeah.
And I find that talking to people about them, there's, sometimes they just hit people and it's like, wow, I never thought about tea like this before.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit deeper experience than, maybe just being like, oh, everything tastes pretty good,
Yeah, and then so if I come back to this specific tea, Furry Crab, now I feel like this tea, the flavor profile, I have to say, is like not exactly the same, but it's like the same. It tastes fruity, it tastes sweet, and it's a very beautiful tea. But there's a couple of things. One thing is the flavor condense further, not as loosened up anymore. And the overall picture of this tea connect also really well together. And so before I would just say Furry Crab, this specific one, was a good tea. Now I think it was a very good tea. But isn't that the same tea? So I'm not sure, sometimes in a way and it might be both actually. Does the tea develop, or do I brew tea better now? It might be simultaneously. Both of the routes are going on. And that's why I think it's very important to go back to visit teas and to keep learning from the same tea. And I think it's also a very good practice for, for tea drinkers, because obviously tea drinkers are very excited to try many different teas and also many vendors' teas. And there are some vendors that you have been working with for a long time, and that they are very good people and good vendors, responsible business people. But sometimes you'll feel like, well, there's one of the teas is not as good. And I will say 2 situations. One is the tea is not your style of tea. 2 is you don't understand the tea. And it happened to me. It happened to you, right?
Yeah,
that
of course.
Teachers place,
Yeah.
like teacher is like, in a way, our like model, our that figure up there that someday I want to be him, But there are many times when I was in his shop, and especially there was a year he kept bringing us a tea, and I keep not like
feel one way or the other about it, right? It's just like it's there.
It's a good tea. Yeah. That's about it. And I actually asked myself, like, did I understand the tea? What is he seeing in that tea? And I think that year we were very busy and filming, so I didn't pursue further with the tea.
Yeah.
And we forgot to buy a bag to come back and learn further. Because then I remember another incident that was many years ago with Hong Shui Oolong, La La San Hong Shui.
Yeah.
First time when I drank it with him, my response was, "Why did you like this tea?" and then he told me the reason, right? And I think I told this story so many times already. He told me the reason, and I joke around and I said that I need to buy a ton of this tea. And then he just looked at me very honestly without any judgment. He said, "You can't understand this tea yet the way I understand it." And I never felt like he was offending me. He was just telling me a truth. And so I decided to buy like maybe a gin of that tea. And I came back here. And then one day the tea, was hitting me in a very interesting way. And the tea started to open up to me. I said, "Dang, this is a very good tea." As a tea, it was a very good tea with my checkpoints, right? Dang, this is a very good tea. And to this year, I have to say every day I'm like drinking Hong Shui every single day. But if you met me, anybody who met me about 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
4 years ago now, actually. Yeah, crazy.
4 years ago, like if you drink tea with me, I will tell you, maybe we were drinking Hong Shui, I'll tell you, I like this tea, but not my favorite style of Taiwanese teas. Until this year, for the whole year, I drink Hong Shui tea every single day. There's something about it that maybe that's what the teacher was talking about.
Yeah.
And I think.
And now this Mao Xie, this furry crab. So I had the same experience as you. I felt like the flavor, everything is good. It's actually really feng fu. How do you say? Rich, abundant. Yeah, there's abundance of flavors. There's colorful tea. I always called it a colorful tea. But at the same time, it wouldn't be the first tea that I would reach for because I wasn't really feeling like an overall sense of satisfaction with the tea. You know what I mean? Like when you hit a good dongding, there's that sense of satisfaction because we're really familiar with dongding at this point. But now it has its. I find that it has its own version of that, and I really look forward to drinking it.
Yes. I actually have the same feeling. Like when we come in here, first thing in the morning, we want to pick up a tea to drink, and this is normally one that is on the
higher end of the possibilities. And the thing is, before it was like a tasty tea, but I have to think that it's some combination of we didn't understand it, and also it wasn't completely open to us yet. That's it. I think that's it. That's just it.
Yeah. So I guess still, like the main subject today is not just for us to sit here and to praise how good this furry crab is. It's more of my recent experiences with this tea, and just that I will look back at my own learning. And when I look back at my own learning, I always think of our tea drinkers are with us, like what do they perceive this tea then with the people who purchase this tea? Do they feel like, oh, it was an okay tea only, or do they feel like, oh, dang, I really like this tea? And of course, me as a vendor, I want you to like all my teas in a whatever the tea is, I want you to understand and like the tea for as it is. And in a way, sometimes we just move on too fast because there are too many teas in front of us, right? Not just different teas, different seasons, different vendors. Wow. Different countries, So I'm going to turn into a mom right now, Go back to some teas, find a couple of favorite teas, and drink it frequently, and see how much you really understand the tea.
Yeah.
And I think one time you actually put it really well. It's like a friend.
Yeah, it's like a friend.
It's like a friend, and it's like a good friend, right? You want to visit a good friend pretty often.
And you find that it's changed.
Yeah.
And you find that you've changed.
That's right.
Yeah.
And most of the time, even with the good friend, it might be just like, go to a bar, have a drink, wonderful time, go to a park, have a short walk, wonderful time.
Sounds you guys get in a fight. Don't talk to each other for a while.
Yeah. And tea sometimes do that to you too, like, F you today.
Or just like, impolite, rude.
Yeah. And it become very rough and you didn't know what happened. And sometimes, like you have those like wonderful talk with that friend and everything was so bright and so inspiring and tea will do that to you too. Like one of the sessions is just like, boom. And in a way, it is also like a friend. You are not also looking forward to seeing that friend. And every time I want this amazing experience, maybe we should do drugs together then.
But like this session that we're having right now, it's always dangerous to talk about a session because it can totally change the root of the session. But I'm going to do it just because we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
The tea tastes really good. The satisfaction level is there.
Yeah.
It's not as amazing as it was that other day, though, either. And that's like just part of it. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
Also, we're talking. We're not like super quiet and focused. But
you can see the foundation,
right? Yeah, and
of
it's
the
different.
Satisfaction.
It's different than it was, when we were drinking it before. So it's like once it showed up, it's still there.
Yeah, and that's why because of this satisfaction foundation, it's one of the teas that is on the top 3 lineup that we want to go back to drink it in a daily basis. I wonder if this is almost like when you are just first in love, you want to like go see the person all the time.
I'm like that with charcoal dongding right now.
You are in love with charcoal dongding.
Well, I've always been, but rekindled the relationship a little. I never stopped drinking charcoal dongding.
True.
But I'm just like really gung ho about it right now.
Yeah.
Since drinking it with teachers so many times. And so many different ones.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yunnan oolong too, Mao Xieb. Yeah.
Actually, this morning we just drank the what is that? Smooth water baozhong.
Yes.
For the same reason, I want to see where it's opening up to. We had a super fan of this smooth water baozhong in California. Last season, he bought a lot of smooth water baozhong. And this season, he continued to do so. And at first, of course, this tea was only listed in the .com site, Taiwan. Yeah. And so he purchased some from there. And then he very politely wrote me an email and asked me about if he felt like the tea bouquet didn't show up. Was it because the weather or what things changed? And at that time, I didn't have the tea, but it was coming in. And I said, it might be both. And I haven't tasted the tea yet. But anyway, after the tea came in, I brewed myself a pot. And the foundation was good. I can see why you chose the tea. And there's something about smooth water baozhong with this farmer. His tea is actually really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, whew, not a bad tea.
No. That's why we go back to that farmer every year. He's really good.
And the customer was right though. The bouquet was like At that time, I was more have the feeling of it was locked. I was locked there.
And that's what it felt like when I first bought the tea too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it felt like when I first bought the tea. I felt like the bouquet is locked in, but if I don't buy this tea right now, there's a really strong possibility that I won't be able to get any ever. Because he sends all of his tea to competitions.
Yeah.
Very quickly, so it's actually really hard. You have to be really quick. And yeah. We've done that before where we weren't quick enough with him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then I wrote back to the customer and I said, right now my hunch is the tea is locked in, but I don't know if I don't know the exact timing when it's gonna open up actually, but I felt like the lock-in situation was pretty tight.
Yes.
So I say it might actually take a while, but the base, the clarity, everything about the tea is there. And actually, there's some bouquet shop in a dry leaves and in a cup. It just haven't go into the broth yet.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times with our past experiences, is it will go into the cup. And so I think 2 weeks afterwards, I contacted the customer again because I tried the tea again. And I say, it's opening up a little bit further. Try it again, And so he tried it, and he thanked me for reaching out to him again. And until today, I will say this is not a big bouquet tea, but it's connected. So once again, when the tea have a overall, connection, I am satisfied with the tea. This tea is quiet, and I like a quiet tea. And maybe to some people, not really, because they like a little bit more brighter bouquet teas. And so if that's the case, then I will suggest people to drink the competition style baozhong. Hey, because on the top of it, it's an excellent craft this season.
Yeah. And it is super fragrant. The fragrance is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The smooth water baozhong, the fragrance really is quiet for sure, but the broth is really, really comfortable.
Yeah, it's really nice tea. Do you have a specific feeling of this tea right now? I just want to see if we have the same feeling, because when you first infusion, you say it's a very beautiful tea, and actually exactly feel the same thing.
Oh,
but maybe the images that we are seeing is different.
Yeah.
But the overall thing is, I think this is a pretty tea.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in Taiwan with teacher, I really took a step back from my tea drinking practice and looked at it. And a lot of times I don't have an image that comes to me as much as I know you have images that come to you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I do have a really clear, it's a picture, but it's a picture just of the fragrance. It's just like watching the fragrance as it's in my, peripheral, like when it's in front of me, watching the fragrance, and it is really beautiful. And if I try to put an image onto it, that's a different thing. That's more like an analogy. And that's why I always call this tea as a colorful tea, because it's like confetti to me, or like, balloons and bright colors. But like I said, it's just, the fragrance itself is really, really beautiful. And I don't know exactly. I don't have an image to describe it super well other than that. The feeling that I'm feeling in my body now, though, is like kind of like if Gatorade was really, really good. Like that kind of like the way that it or Pocari Sweat, the way that it's like what you want Gatorade to be, like like when you have really fresh fruit when you're thirsty, and the way that the hydration gets into your body is so soothing and replenishing, or like the rain on the ground when it's a little bit dry, not super dry, but a little bit dry. You know what I mean? Like just very nourishing.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. Yeah.
Is it legal to talk about other beverages, especially with a specific name?
I think you can talk about anything you want. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a certain amount of fear in this country.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like, this is a joke. If you're like Pepsi is total crap and no one should buy it, then you like, that's not.
Okay, it's still a joke. Okay, it's just an example.
Yeah.
Let me understand the law.
Yeah. So I think that's disparaging, but other than that, I think you're pretty safe to talk about what you want. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I was just because you were talking about some
Gatorade.
Yeah.
It's not like Gatorade, but you know what I mean. Like
I'm not. I don't have any specific beverages.
okay, I was gonna say, do you have like some kind of brand name? No. What are you feeling? What's your image?
I saw a smile.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
A really pretty smile. That's about it.
I think another part of why it tastes different now is because it feels like the concentration is more than when we were brewing it before.
Yeah.
And when the concentration is more, it really benefits this tea in particular.
Yeah. And that's what I've been talking about. Me too.
Yeah, it's really 关键. Key.
The middle is the molecules really tie up really nicely together now in the broth, in the scent, in everything, in the connectivity.
Yeah, in the body. Yeah.
And then that's why it create. I call it a satisfaction. A satisfaction experience.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to explain. I think then people sometimes understand this. When you have a good cup of tea, you don't know how to put it in words. And sometimes for me, a very satisfied feeling with the tea is this. I don't know how to put it in words. And that's why tea is so beautiful. It's when we drink it together and I know you are experiencing the same thing with me.
Yeah.
And other customers who come in here, customers come in here and drink tea and then just have the same beautiful moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think tea is a little bit philosophical right now. It's towards the end of the bag, and a lot of times in the past I always felt like the tea is teasing me, just like life is teasing me. Whoop, it's finishing now. It's really good, huh? Hey, you know what, sucker? There's no more. But now I don't feel like the tea is teasing me. You know, I think tea is teaching me the experiences are not always the same, but keep watching me. There are always good things in there. Maybe I was as good before, but you didn't know it. So keep experiencing it. And I think this then I expanded into my life. Was the past bad? You know, even bad things have a good lesson in there, I think. And sometimes when you look back at something, you feel like it was bad, but it was actually pretty good. You know, and so, yeah. So anyway, this bag of tea just overall is an amazing experience to me. I just keep watching and even though when those moments that it doesn't feel satisfied, you know, I could keep a very calm mind and say, I think there's something else in it and I am not gonna give up. This is teacher's tea. There must be something really beautiful in it. And now the tea is rewarding us with this. For me, it's this smile, it's this satisfaction, and to you too, Noah, is a satisfaction, is a beauty, you know, and every day when we have a chance to drink this tea, it's just a wonderful experience. Because hey, how lucky is it to drink a very satisfying tea in a daily basis?
Yeah. And what we're lucky is we have more of this farmer's tea, even if we don't have this particular one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And that tea, now that we are brewing it more concentrated, we can brew out what's great about that tea too. So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Yunnan 铁观音.
Yes. The Yunnan oolong.
Oh, the Yunnan oolong. Yeah.
And we have that Yunnan Tiguanyin too.
Yeah.
I mean, that same farmer's tea. That one's not for sale. The reason it's not for sale is that Yunnan Tiguanyin is yeah.
Quieter.
Yeah, it's quieter. It's yeah.
And sometimes it's very, in a way, then a little bit dangerous to sell. I have to say, to sell a quiet tea.
That's why the smooth water baozhong is so. we get a smaller quantity of that tea every year, and although it always sells, pretty well, we still it's a little scary to rely on the internet to communicate about something so delicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but the Yunnan oolong is not a quiet tea. That's it's a juicy big monkey tea.
Monkey tea will be coming up in September.
Yeah. That one is sweet. That one is a sweet tea.
Cool. Excellent session.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank many of you out there to give us the opportunity and to tune in with us. Pretty soon, I think roughly in about the middle of August, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I mean, it's never a good idea to announce things too soon, but that's my hallmark is
I think our
hey
brand,
guys, want to hear about what we're doing? Oh, we changed our mind.
we never did it.
But yeah, we're looking at. There's going to be a big change in the podcast. I've already mentioned it a couple of times, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it actually on the podcast yet. But we're planning on including a video element
to the
podcast and putting it on YouTube and have more guests instead of just us being so introspective all the time, which is great, but also kind of fun to have some fresh meat in here too.
Fresh meat, not the old meat.
Lots of old meat right now.
How about fresh carrots and old carrots?
Lots of old carrots. Me and showing our
cabbages.
Me and showing our sauerkraut to you guys right now, which has its benefits, but sometimes you just want some salad.
Yeah, true.
The point is, keep your eyes open. There's going to be a big change in the podcast coming very soon. And looks like it might be in early to mid-August.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you, people.
Yeah.
For listening to us. Please stay safe and happy out there.
And drink tea with your friends.
Or yourself. Either way. Or with us sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that's it. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.